I'm going to get into the platforms right now and just talk about one thing that I want to talk about for each platform. If I could talk about these platforms for probably 3 hours. So this is really broken down into what I think might be the most actionable steps for people on this call when it comes to social media. So when we talk about Facebook, it's the first one people ask about because it's the oldest. Um, what is working on Facebook? And so obviously we know it's a great way to tap into the older generation. That's where they are. They love Facebook. Boomers are there, Gen X are there. It's a great way to contact them. But Facebook really values authentic. All the platforms value authenticity. What Facebook loves is things like camp life photos, staff spotlights, parenting tips, fun polls, nostalgic camp moments. That should be like 80% of your content on Facebook. It should be community growth, showcasing how much people love camp, why they want to come back. All of that stuff will tap into the parents' wants and needs. 20% should be the direct sales pitches. Register now, early birds, spots filling up. You know the drill. Let's not hammer it too much. We want it to be a place of community and then having that community be engaged to be able to hear the 20% and to be able to actionably go to your website, sign up, or whatever you need them to do. So the 80/20 rule is really important on Facebook for that reason. Sometimes like on platforms like X, you can just kind of get away with it because it's a little bit more promotional there, but Facebook is really community driven. I put a fun fact on each page. So the fun fact for Facebook is not responding to comments, or I guess this isn't fun. Now that I'm reading it, I'm like, is this negative? But it's fun for me. Fun fact, not responding to comments or messages promptly hurts Facebook's algorithm. It punishes pages with lower engagement and slow response times. So you always have to think about the algorithm of each page. And the algorithm for Facebook, really it is that, like I said, community. So people they really value when pages are involved in their Facebook messages. They're involved in responding to comments. That showcases to them that you want to be a part of the community you're building, and therefore they will boost your engagement based on that. So definitely something to think about as you continue with your Facebook messages. Always respond promptly, and make sure you have somebody on top of that because that's really going to make or break Facebook sometimes. Um, Instagram. I love talking about Instagram because it's very interesting. Uh, the tip I have here is to treat your grid like a storefront window. When somebody lands on your profile, they see those 9 images like shown here. Those 9 posts are the first thing that first impression that you make. And sometimes it's the best impression you can make. A lot of camps either have great Instagram followings, not a lot of engagement, or some have amazing engagement and they should continue doing what they're doing. But a lot of what I see is a lot of camps have a lot of posts, not a lot of followers, or they're just starting out and are trying to figure out what to do. A lot of times, what I say when we feel like our Instagram pages aren't really working for us is to set it up like a website. So you take these 9 photos and you make it look like a part of your branding. And so when people come to the Instagram, they feel it's professional and they understand what your camp's all about. That's what those 9 photos should sort of come together to showcase. And that's really impactful for a social platform where you can, on a separate section of Instagram, run Instagram Reels, which is something I'll talk about, but Reels are the way to get more followers. The feed and the grid is a way to showcase your professionalism and showcase what your camp is all about. You don't have to touch those 9 photos if you don't want to. As soon as you start gaining a bigger following, you can eventually push those 9 photos to the bottom. But while you're growing your following, meaning like you're using Reels, excuse me, and Reels on TikTok is really important. Reels is not Reels on TikTok. Reels on Instagram is really important because it's Instagram's version of TikTok. And that's where people see people coming in that they don't know, new followers. They're coming from Reels, and that's really important to know. Because the rest of Instagram's algorithm is really based on people following you. So they're really only going to see your grid if they follow you. They're only going to see your stories if they follow you. So utilizing Reels to build the platform while you have this beautiful sort of introduction page on Instagram is a really great way to start out small and grow big. Um, so I talked to Dan before that I had a shake before this, and of course now it's making me cough. Apologies.
Oh, you're in good company. I've heard some of these folks on this
I'm
call
gonna take
cough,
a
so you're good. Yeah,
secondary
I take
sip.
all the time.
Um, so fun fact about Reels, Reels are shown to non-followers 5 to 10 times more than regular posts. One great reel can introduce you to your camp to hundreds of families who have never heard of you. Reels is where you need to make change. The grid is where you want to make it pretty. And I can get more into that. I know it's a little bit complicated for people who don't understand Instagram. Instagram has three facets to it. It has stories, it has reels, and it has regular in-feed posts. So it makes it a highly complicated platform, and some people don't know where to lean in. But I'm telling you here and now, Reels is where to lean in and to lean out of the regular posts if you're just starting out or don't have a big community. If you have a big community, we could talk different strategy. YouTube. This is one that Dan loves, and we've been talking about. But I worked at CNBC on YouTube for 4 years. We grew from 90,000 followers, and this is for their primetime account. We ran from 90,000 followers to like 600, I think they're at. It was a big change in what we did. And the one thing that we did to change all of that was we made everything longer. Everything got longer. And that doesn't mean stories. So YouTube has a TikTok feature called stories. This doesn't relate to that. When you're doing long form content like you see in the grid of YouTube, a typical YouTube video, you want to make sure it's longer. A 10-minute video where people are watching 8 minutes beats 2-minute videos where people watch it fully. And people don't like to hear that, but the longer the better. So if you have interviews with people or you have a showcase of camp, make sure it's over that 5 minute mark. The best is like between 8 and 10, but really longer typically wins. That doesn't mean you can't utilize YouTube for shorter videos because a lot of people use it for SEO, meaning they put it on their website or they use it for people finding them, finding their videos. And so those can be short, it's okay. But if you want growth on YouTube, longer the better. Um, Fun fact for this one, embedding YouTube videos on your website increases how long visitors stay on your site, which improves your SEO ranking and gives parents the content they need to convert. So this is a place where you can focus if you have that long form content. If not, you can hop over to stories. No, stories is not right. Oh my God. It's not right. It's not stories on YouTube. I apologize. I always forget the name of it and I'm going to
Shorts, YouTube
mind
Shorts, right?
shorts.
Yes.
Shorts and stories, they flip
That's
them.
all my daughter watches. She literally, like the 12-year-old, I swear her phone has just become a YouTube short
I
machine.
know.
Drives me nuts.
Actually, YouTube does have stories, so I'm not wrong. You could do a story for YouTube, but it's a short that I meant to say here. So shorts are their TikTok rival, and shorts is where you can also repurpose TikTok content. So I would say like those places you can share content. It's really easy to go back and forth between YouTube and TikTok. But yeah, it's a great place to utilize your short form content on the platform. But typically the long form stuff comes in the other typical YouTube content that you're used to. And then TikTok, my favorite. Messy and authentic on TikTok will beat polished every single time. Your staff filming on their phones for hoopla, which we had at my camp at lunchtime, is going to be the way that you generate leads in the fall. Um, and it's going to be messy and fun. I really did a lot of research about what camps are doing on TikTok because I find it an interesting space for camps to get into. Not only does TikTok have really quick growth, and I can talk about my own growth on TikTok to explain this, but the growth also comes with easeability. So you don't have to worry about the polishing of a video. You don't have to think really hard about it. It can be a simple 5 second clip. And that could get 1 million views. I was looking at a lot of videos on TikTok, and you can search summer camp on TikTok right now and see what other camps are doing. It's a lot of leaning into trends to tell the story of what your camp wants to say. And for that, you definitely need somebody who understands TikTok and is immersed in the world to be able to tell you what those trends are, to be able to do. It's doing those and having fun. And I've seen so many camp TikToks pop off by just being who they are. And people love summer camp who people who love summer camp love summer camp. So it's not even going to be people maybe who you're actually trying to go after. Those people are going to be there, but it could just be somebody who has a love for camp and is like, wow, I really like that. And every single boost will get you closer to the parents you want to reach and the kids. Fun fact for TikTok is that it's not just for the kids. Parents aged 30 to 45 are the fastest demographic that are growing on TikTok. They're researching camps, watching videos, and they're making enrollment decisions based on what they see. Don't count out the parents on TikTok. Everyone's on TikTok, and it is the platform that you have to lean into the hardest in terms of output, meaning you have to put a lot of time in, a lot of videos, maybe, you know, I'm gonna say this and everyone's gonna get nervous, but two per day is kind of like the prescription. Um, but you can grow really, really quickly. I did an experiment myself this summer where I said, let me see if I can grow my own TikTok account. And I wanted to look at the views that I was getting throughout the summer. I started with 11 and I was posting 1 to 2 times a week. By October, I was posting 2 to 4 times a day, and I was getting a return of 425,000 views a month. That's an insanely in the millions steep growth curve. I was only myself. I wasn't trying to be anyone else. I was just kind of talking about my life. So imagine what you can do with a really well-oiled machine of staff members being able to take this content for you and then being able to work with someone like me or somebody else who can put those videos into action or talk about the trends with the staff to be able to create these moments. So TikTok, I think, is the biggest growing one that many camps aren't on but should be. And I can definitely help people grow on that platform. It's my biggest expertise level right now is probably on TikTok, and I love talking about it. So I'm happy to answer more questions in the Q&A about it. But it's definitely one to watch and one to think about to grow your camp community.